Hey, y'all. Welcome to Candid Conversations with Carla. Well, today we are talking about, are you ready for love? Now, this is a definitely a heavy topic, especially with so many single women, and actually just so many singles in general. A lot of times we are stating that we are ready to get married, we're ready for relationships, and we're ready for love. But have we really examined ourselves? And are we really ready? Just as singles, we definitely have our list, our prayers, or things that we write down, write the vision, make it plain. And we have all of these things down as far as what we would like. But really, have we actually examined, are we ready? A lot of times we state we want ABC, but we're not ABC. Okay. And so I just wanted to kind of bring this subject up because we want to make sure that we have positioned and postured ourselves and made sure that we are truly ready for what we're even asking for. So, for example, you may be wanting, if you're a woman, you may be wanting a guy who has great credit. But do you have great credit? And if you want him to be a provider, are your affairs intact? You know, and so we want to make sure that for the level of integrity that we're asking God for different things, including a husband, a spouse, that we ourselves, we are actually ready as men and women, right? Because it's not right if you're asking for something that, or you're requiring something that you yourself, you're not really walking in. Okay. And so you want to live above that reproach. Okay. One of the things that I would like to just even bring up as well, especially as Christians, and especially, and actually, this goes for men and women. Have you prayed that you are equipped for your spouse's or your future spouse's call? That is so important as you begin to intertwine your lives. It's so important that different aspects match up as well, such as your home life, and even what's to be expected, because sometimes we go in with certain ideas or certain expectations and we really haven't thought everything out. For example, especially when we're talking about, am I preparing for my spouse's call? If my future spouse is a pastor, well, some of my personal time may be taking up from me, basically because he has people that he needs to tend to, right? But that becomes part of my lifestyle as well. And so this is where, expectations and different things can come up because, maybe you didn't think about those things. Maybe that's not something that you even, anticipated. Okay. And just, are we really, once again, we're asking, just the question is, are you really ready for love? Also, another thing too is, if you are waiting for your significant other, what are you currently doing while you're waiting? Are you begging God and crying at night? Are you watching all of the other couples and saying, when is it my turn? And there's nothing wrong with waiting on God. But there is certain things that you should be doing while you're waiting. And I do want to say this. I do want to make one point as well. We should not have placeholders or people that we are using while you're waiting as placeholders, because truly you may have an emotional attachment to someone that is not your spouse. And when your spouse is gonna come, are you emotionally available? Probably not. If you are, if you have attached yourself to someone who is not your spouse, and you want to have the integrity, and you want to show God that you are truly ready and that he can entrust you with your spouse, by doing the right thing, right? And so once again, what should you be doing while you're waiting? Do what God told you to do. You know, get fit. Start on that business. Start, be the best you can at your job. Cultivate your friendships. Strengthen your family. Build, you know, build upon the things that God has already, the projects that God has given you, you know, and then really truly build, ask God to build you. Ask Him to go into the crevices of your heart and to clean out all of those things that you may not even be aware of, because, you don't have someone kind of like in your space to even tell you how you really are, right? And we're not talking about how your family sees you or whoever else sees you, right? Because when you get with someone, they are able to see what others cannot see. So, once again, are we really ready for love? Like, how do you act? How do you currently act when something comes up? Like challenges and things that come up against you, and are you able to communicate those things? Do you spaz out? Are you patient? These are really things that we should be thinking about, because guess what? When you get with that significant other, things are only going to be magnified, right? And so we want to make sure that we are in a position that even if it's with that spouse, that we even know how to handle and go about different things. Are you really healed in different areas? And one way that you can find out is, now I personally believe in, of course, we seek God, but I also believe that it's healthy to even, to talk to someone, a therapist, and just especially if you've experienced some traumatic things, and that's just a point of having someone to actually talk to. Yes, I do believe in seeking God and talking to the Lord as well, especially in prayer. But I don't see anything wrong with getting that additional ear as well, especially someone who is unbiased, someone who is not a friend, right? Because our friends tend to lean towards you as their friend, okay? And so they may not be able to, might have blind spots when it comes to you. Also, on the subject of handling conflict, what methods do you use to handle conflict? I mean, are you someone who definitely have to, you know, talk immediately, or do you need a breather? Just knowing, you know, the different ways to kind of minimize some of the things that may come up when you are with someone. Also, what are your expectations? Do you or your future spouse have children, and do you agree on finances and how to rear children, and How do you, all of these things, of course, should come up in premarital counseling. But these just are some things to even just think about as a single, even before you actually meet someone, because you need to definitely know what your non negotiables are and what you're willing to compromise. And are you willing to compromise? Does everything have to be your way or the highway? And so all of these things are things to think about. And when we're talking about, are you really ready for love? Do you really know what love is? What is your idea of love? What does love look like for you? And I know we hear the question, what's your love language? But really, how do you receive love? Are you able to receive love? And if you find yourself in a position where you don't know, these are things that you need to really know and understand about yourself. A lot of times we don't even know where we really are at, just as a single, as a person, because guess what? Just even over the years, depending on how old you are, you may have changed. And so you need to, it's okay to revisit, okay, what about me has changed, since the last couple of years. And so you need to be in tune with who you are as a person, especially before you engage in any type of new relationship. We say we know what we want, but when we actually get the thing that we thought we needed or wanted, we found out that's not even what we needed. That's not really what you thought you knew what you wanted, but that's not really what God's plan is for you, right? And so it's so important to even be led of God, because what may be good for you today may not be good for you 5 years down the line. And so that's why it's so important to acknowledge God in all of our ways and all of our decisions. It's okay to get to really know more about yourself, and it's okay to, use this time to heal if you're not healed in certain areas. Sometimes we don't even know that we're not even healed in certain areas because, we haven't been faced with certain things, or maybe you haven't dated in a long time, or maybe you haven't had to compromise, or you weren't put in a position where you had to, or where you were even challenged, right? And so I just wanted to kind of put this out here for you guys. Just think about some of these things, because you know uh, your time may be coming, and you want to find yourself ready. Of course, there are certain things that won't even come until you know you're actually in that relationship. But for everything that you can do while you're waiting, you know what? Become a better you. Become a better you for him. Become a better you for her. You know, you want to give your relationship the best, the best chance at surviving, especially in a world where where commitment is very rare. Okay. And anyway, you guys, I just wanted to kind of put this out here for you. It is something I'm navigating myself, and so yeah. Until next time, I will see you here on Candid Conversations with Carla. All right, you guys.